For 10 years, I was the wildest woman by Liam's side, but when he decided to get married, I wasn't the bride. Is she as wild as I am? I asked. Liam shook his head. No, she's nothing like you. She's pure, innocent, not like you, wild to your very core. I left without a single backward glance, and straight into the bed of his best friend. Liam was getting married, just not to me. The night before we broke up, he took me like a man possessed, using every trick we'd perfected over 10 years together. I knew his rhythm so well I could predict his next move before he made it. Be good, he growled, biting the back of my neck. Be as wild as you always are. When he finally finished, I lifted my eyes lazily, my voice rough. What? Getting a month's worth done in advance. I'd never seen him so reckless, so unhinged. In all our 10 years, Liam wrapped an arm around me, his fingers tracing idle circles on my waist. Scarlett, you said you only wanted me for my body. Right, so this doesn't count as leading you on and dumping you, does it? His tone was light, but his words sent a sharp jolt through my chest. I was 19 when it happened, cornered by thugs in an alley. He was the one who showed up and saved me. So innocent. But you've been staring at my abs for a long time. I still remembered the look in his eyes when he said that. The NEXT day, he had me pressed up against the wall of a karaoke lounge bathroom, breathing hard as he said, "Be good. Look at me." Afterwards, he'd always ask why I stayed with him. For your body, I'd say. He'd laugh. Smug, I'll make sure you crave me forever. Maybe it was all the time we spent in bed. After a while, I couldn't tell if I craved his body or him. I caught his wandering hand in mine. I held myself together, refusing to let him see me break. I smiled. Slow and sultry. Relax. You're good, but not good enough to haunt me. Liam laced our fingers together, staring down at me. That's settled then. Scarlett, I'm not getting any younger. It's time to settle down. We're done. I froze. 10 years. I'd always thought we were dating. Always thought we were a couple. That when the time came, we'd get married. Just like that. But he'd just said it was time to settle down. That we were done. I'd only ever been a bed warmer for his wild years. I turned away, my eyes stinging with tears. I blinked hard, forcing them back. I forced a casual smile and got up to leave. But Liam pulled me back into his arms by the waist. He carried me to the bathroom just like he always did. He was gentle, washing me carefully. My family set me up with a girl. She's good marriage material. So that was it. He'd moved on, found someone new. I closed my eyes, holding back the tears. I was 28 years old. I wouldn't let him see me break. Wouldn't let him look down on me. Think I couldn't live without him. 28-year-old Scarlett knew how to leave with dignity. When I opened my eyes again, the tears were gone. I smiled at him. Is she as wild as I am? He liked wild, didn't he? Young girls were all shy and inexperienced, just like I'd been. He shook his head, his tone flat. She's different. She's pure, innocent, not like you, wild to your very core. My nails dug into my palm. I laughed, loud and sharp. You're ridiculous. Liam, you turned me into this, and now you think I'm dirty. He'd been the one to strip away my shyness, the one to whisper in my ear, over and over. You're too pure, but I like them wild. Don't worry, I'll teach you, bit by bit. 10 years, dorms, offices, kitchens, cars. He'd liked me pure on the outside, wild underneath, and now he was using words like pure and innocent to nail me to a cross of shame. My mouth tasted bitter, my chest ached. I looked away from him, staring at the marks he'd left all over my skin. She's pure, she's innocent, not like you, wild to your very core. It's time I stopped messing around. Hadn't all of this been exactly what he wanted? He'd shaped me from a shy girl into a woman who would always give him exactly what he wanted, whenever he wanted it. And now he said he liked them pure, innocent. I wanted to ask him if this hadn't all been his doing. I wanted to ask him what I'd been to him. These 10 years. I wanted to ask him if he'd never felt anything for me at all. But I was scared, terrified, really, scared he'd say the thing I didn't want to hear. 10 years, and I'd been the only one who'd cared. We sat in silence. He finished washing me, dried me off, and carried me back to the bedroom. Something flickered in his eyes. He leaned down, about to pin me beneath him again. Before I could say no, his phone rang. He clapped a hand over my mouth at once, his eyes warning me to stay quiet. On the other end, a girl's soft, sweet voice said, "Liam, I have a fever. Can you come see me?" Liam's voice was so gentle it made my stomach turn. "Wait for me at home. I'm on my way. Be good." That one word, be good, took me back to our first night, to him saying, "Be good. Let me have you." It took me back to when I'd had a fever, and he'd said, "1 round. You'll sweat it out." He got dressed in a hurry, didn't even glance at me again. 10 years, and this was the first time he'd ever stopped for someone else. Liam left in a rush, his desire still unspent, after he was gone. My phone blew up with messages. "I'm staying with Olivia for the next few days. I won't be back. Pack your things. Text me when you're done. And I'll come change the locks. Make sure you get everything. Don't leave anything behind. Olivia'll be upset if she finds your stuff. You can still call me if you need anything else." Bitterness settled in my chest. 10 years. And I still couldn't bring myself to hate him. What were we, these 10 years? A long while later, he texted back, "We're not kids anymore. Scarlett, 2 consenting adults. I think you get it, but..." Another message followed. "We can still be friends." I stared at the screen and laughed until tears streamed down my face. Friends? How on earth were we supposed to be friends? A girl's best 10 years. Reduced to consenting adults. Reduced to we can still be friends. That night, I sat alone on the couch in that empty house, staring out at the dark sky. I thought about 10 years ago, 19 years old. Hugging my textbooks to my chest, I'd cut through that dark back alley to make it back to the dorms before curfew. The street light was broken, only the faint glow of a convenience store at the end lit the way. "College girl, huh? Wanna hang out with us?" The voice made me jump. 6 guys with dyed blonde hair surrounded me. The leader reached for the collar of my shirt. "Leave me alone." My voice shook, my back pressed into the damp brick wall. "I'll call the police." Ooh. Feisty. I like her better that way. The blonde guy grinned at his friends. His hand was inches from my face. I was trembling with fear. Then, bright motorcycle headlights flooded the alley, ganging up on one girl, real classy, against the light. I saw a tall figure swing off the bike and hang his helmet on the mirror. He walked with a lazy, rolling stride, like a big cat on the prowl. The blonde guy clearly knew who he was. His voice shrank to a mumble. Liam. Liam. We were just messing around." Liam. The name sent a shiver through me. The star of the sports department. Rich. The most popular guy in the whole school. My roommates and I used to accidentally walk past the basketball court just to watch him dunk. His white t-shirt would stick to him white sweat, showing the outline of his abs. The girls on the sidelines would all hold their breath and squeal. "Get lost." One word. And the thugs scattered. When he came closer, the streetlight finally caught his face. Sharp brows, mocking eyes, a black obsidian stud glinting in his left ear. 20-year-old Liam was dangerous. And magnetic. "You're okay now." He shrugged off his leather jacket and tossed it to me. "Button up." I realized then my shirt was unbuttoned to the 3rd button. I wrapped his jacket around myself in a hurry. The leather still held his warmth, mixed with the faint smell of tobacco. It was strangely comforting. "Thank you." My voice was barely a whisper. My cheeks burned. He leaned in suddenly. I stepped back, hitting the cold brick wall again. He braced one hand beside my head. His breath fanned over my burning ear when he spoke. "So shy. But you've been staring at my abs for a long time." My face went up in flames. It was true. Every time he played basketball, I'd sneak looks at the lines of his muscles through his sweat-soaked shirt. I just never thought I'd get caught. The next day was a dorm mixer. I hid in the corner of the karaoke lounge, shoveling fruit into my mouth. The door opened. Liam walked in with a bunch of guys from the sports department. My watermelon slice slipped right off my fork and onto my dress. "Well, hey there, little rabbit." He sat down next to me like he belonged there and handed me a napkin. Nervous, our fingertips brushed when I took it. I yanked my hand back like I'd been burned. His eyes looked dark in the dim light. A faint smile tugged at his lips. "What are you singing? Let me hear." He grabbed a mic and shoved it into my hand before I could say no. I picked a song at random. My voice shook so bad I could barely stay on key, but he started singing along. His low, rough voice sent shivers down my spine. My roommates were giving me looks. I wanted the floor to swallow me whole. I think I drank something after that. It's all a blur. I just remember him pulling me into the bathroom stall, my back pressed to the cold tile. He kissed me, tasting like alcohol, and whispered in my ear, "Be good. Look at me." After that night, I was completely gone. Every time we ran into each other on campus, he'd pull me into some empty corner and kiss me. My diary was full of his initials. My camera roll was nothing but blurry photos of his back. That time, he'd said, "Be good. Let me have you." That time, he'd said, "I'll make sure you crave me forever." 10 years later, I'd gone from a girl who blushed at a single touch to a woman who could take everything he gave her without flinching. I'd been stupid enough to think it was love that he'd taught me how to kiss, how to feel good, how to please him. I'd waited for him to propose. I'd even daydreamed about having a son who looked just like him. Who'd have all the girls swooning? I'd never thought we'd break up. We were so perfect together, so in sync. I laughed bitterly. Sleeping with only one man your whole life really was a waste. Before I left, I wanted to see him one last time, no matter what. I wanted to close those 10 years properly. I stood in front of the full-length mirror in the walk-in closet, my fingers brushing rows of plain, neutral dresses. Over the years, my wardrobe had been bleached pale cream knits, ivory chiffon, pearl white silk blouses. Every last one was the innocent style Liam liked. "You look best in white," he'd always say. I'd held up a tube of Dior $9.99 for him to see. "Too bright," he'd said. He'd picked out a nearly nude lip balm instead. "This suits you." For 10 years. This was the first time I'd really looked at myself in the mirror. 28 years old. And there was more spark in my eyes than there'd been at 19. I pulled out the pearl hair clip holding my hair back and let my curls fall like a dark waterfall. At the back of the closet hung a bright red wrap dress. A birthday gift from my best friend Charlotte 3 years ago. Have an amazing body. Why do you always dress like a little nun? She'd shoved the paper bag at me, exasperated. I'd never told her Liam liked it that way, pure as a blank sheet on the outside, wild as anything behind closed doors. Just thinking about the things he'd asked for made my ears burn. I'd only ever worn it once, in secret, when Liam was out of town. Today, I put it on properly. The silk clung to me like water. The neck showed off my collarbones. The slit hem let my legs peek through with every step. 3-inch red-soled stilettos brought me to nearly 5'9". My hips swayed when I walked, like my body was finally remembering how to move on its own. I lined my eyes with dark brown liner, flicking the ends up. I piled on mascara, then swiped on that bright red lipstick I'd kept hidden for so long. The woman in the mirror was both stranger and familiar. Long dark hair, full red lips, slim ankles peeking out from her dress. Liam had never seen this side of me. My phone buzzed. A message in the group chat from him. 7 o'clock tonight. The usual spot. That was how he invited the guys out for drinks. When I pushed open the private clubroom door, the noise died. A dozen pairs of eyes snapped to me. I clutched my purse tighter on instinct. "Damn, she's hot," someone muttered. "Tell me about it." My type. Ethan was the first to walk over, a lazy, playful smirk on his face. "Hey there, beautiful. You here alone?" "I'm Ethan." I cut him off, smiling. "It's me, Scarlett." The room went dead silent. You could have heard a pin drop. Ethan's smile froze. His eyes went dark. Everyone else stared, some rubbing their eyes like they couldn't believe it. They couldn't wrap their heads around the fact that this bold, stunning woman was the innocent girl they all knew. "Shit, is Liam blind?" Someone finally whispered. "Scarlett's." "Wow, that girl's only 19, pure as snow. She's got nothing on Scarlett. If it were me." "Scarlett looks totally different tonight. Think Liam'll regret it when he sees her." I listened to the whispers. A faint bitterness in my chest. So everyone already knew about the 19-year-old girl. Just then, the door opened again. Liam walked in with a girl on his arm. She looked like she'd stepped straight out of a teen drama suite. Innocent, pure. "What's everyone staring at?" Liam's voice held a fondness I'd never heard before. He twirled a strand of her hair around his finger. Why so quiet? Say hi to your future sister-in-law. Ethan watched him coldly, a bitter smile tugging at his mouth. Ethan, Liam snapped, still holding the girl's waist. What are you standing there for? Say. He stopped mid-sentence. I watched his pupils blow wide. His Adam's apple bobbed. The arm around the girl tightened until she made a small, hurt sound. How ironic. Finally, he was really looking at me, shocked, confused, and with a flicker of something that broke my heart. Ah. Liam, the girl tugged at his sleeve, her voice cloyingly sweet. Who is she? Liam swallowed again. It took him 5 whole seconds to get the word out. Scarlett. He said it like he was introducing a stranger. The girl skipped over to me, up close. I could see her face properly. Those eyes, that smile. She was exactly like I'd been at 19. She smelled like jasmine perfume, Liam's favorite. I know you. She tilted her head, so innocent it hurt. Liam says you're so nice, that you love white dresses. Just like me, like a pure little lamb. She reached out to touch my red dress. But you look so pretty tonight, like a movie star. Liam stormed over and wrenched her hand away roughly. He stared daggers at me, his eyes dark with rage. Scarlett, he said, his voice tight with anger. Who are you trying to seduce, dressed like that? It felt like he'd ripped my heart open. 10 years by his side. And this was what he thought of me. Obviously someone new. I shot back, my jaw set. You dumped me. A girl's gotta look for her next option. Liam laughed, sharp and bitter. He pulled Olivia closer, looking at me like I was trash. I get it. You spent 10 years with me. You're bitter. Fine. Name your price. For the 10 years. I froze. My ears rang. White-hot anger flooded through me. My hands shook so bad I could barely hold them still. That's what you think of me? Liam shrugged, like it was obvious. 10 years of your youth. I can't just leave you with nothing, can I? Name your price. I'll transfer it right now. 10 years. Buying me off. Reducing 10 years to a transaction. And he was acting like I was the gold digger. The room was dead quiet. His friends exchanged awkward looks. Ethan just twirled his wine glass, calm as ever. Olivia picked up on the tension and hurried to smooth things over. Liam, don't be mean to her. She didn't do anything. Liam squeezed her hand, his voice softening. I have to, baby. Otherwise she won't leave me alone. I'm doing this for you, can't you tell? I don't want you feeling weird about us. We had 10 years. I can't pretend we didn't. So in his eyes, I didn't even deserve a proper goodbye. Tears burned my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. After a long silence, I smiled at him. No price. I don't need your money. I walked straight over to Ethan, hooked a finger through his tie. You free tonight? Liam's face went pale with rage. Ethan looked at me, unreadable. Then he said one word. Sure. I smiled and tugged him along by the tie. He let me lead him out of the room. I didn't expect Liam to come chasing after us. Scarlett. His voice was raw, like he was forcing it out. There was something wild in his eyes I'd never seen before. I pressed myself closer to Ethan on purpose. I felt the man's muscles go taut. What? Liam, wanna join? You'll have to ask. I trailed a finger over Ethan's collarbone, smiling. Liam cut me off, his voice shaking. You really gonna throw yourself away like this? How ridiculous. I looked at the man who'd once held me like I meant something. The pain in his eyes looked so real, but he'd pushed me away just as easily. Was he regretting it now? It's just a little fun, I said, and pressed a kiss to Ethan's neck. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Liam's fists clench until his knuckles were white. Who do you think you are, telling me what to do? Liam's eyes were red. Scar. He ground the name out through his teeth. He'd been the one to dump me. What was this pained act for? I smiled up at him. Goodbye, Liam. Don't ever show your face around me again. I pulled Ethan onward. Liam took a step forward, like he was going to run after us. Then Olivia's voice called from behind him. Liam, if you still care about her, go after her. It's okay, just like I knew he would. Liam didn't move. My chest went hollow for a second, then settled. What had I been expecting? Him to chase after me? My hand loosened on Ethan's tie. Then Ethan's hand clamped down on my waist. His warm breath fanned over my ear, using me and running off. His grip was strong. I was pressed tight to his chest. I could feel it rising and falling. Behind us, Liam froze for a second, then roared with rage. He lunged forward and grabbed Ethan by the collar. "You know she's..." "I know." Ethan pried his hand off easily, then swept me off my feet into his arms. "You made your choice, Liam. Stick to it. From now on, she's mine." I lifted an eyebrow at him and met his dark eyes. For a second, I swear I saw nothing but tenderness there. I flustered, trying to squirm away. "Ethan, put me down. This is stupid." He just held me tighter, keeping me trapped against him. He leaned in, his voice low. "Don't move." Liam's still watching. I rested my head on his shoulder. Liam was still standing there, his eyes red-rimmed. "Put me down," I whispered, digging my nails into his shoulder. He dipped his head suddenly. His lips brushed my earlobe. His warm breath sent a shiver through me. "Who started it? Huh? If we're putting on a show, we do it right. Scarlet." He hoisted me up higher by the thighs. I yelped and clung to his neck on instinct. He laughed low and carried me toward the parking lot. I slid into the passenger seat of his black Maybach. The car smelled like cedar. He leaned over to buckle my seatbelt for me. I watched Liam's figure get smaller and smaller in the rearview mirror, until it vanished into the night. "Happy now?" Ethan turned the wheel with one hand and popped 2 buttons off his shirt with the other. My lipstick was smudged bright on his collarbone. My face heated up. Seeing Liam hurt had felt good. I turned to stare out the window. "Thanks for tonight." "I mean," he scoffed, getting shy now. "You were pretty bold when you were hitting on me." I liked that version better. My heart was racing. I'd just been angry. I'd wanted to get back at Liam, wanted to see him mad. 10 years, and he thought he could just end it like that. But I'd never actually planned on sleeping with his best friend. Ethan had been Liam's college friend. I'd known him just as long as I'd known Liam. We weren't close, but after 10 years, we were still friends. Using him to get back at Liam was low, but I'd been so furious I hadn't thought. My chest still felt tight. I was trying to figure out how to apologize when Ethan slammed on the brakes. He ripped off his tie and leaned over me. "He's following us." I looked in the mirror and saw Liam's car screech to a stop behind us. Ethan's thumb brushed my cheek. "Wanna make it even better?" Then he kissed me. The passenger door wrenched open. Liam leaned in, cold with rage. Then he saw us kissing. His pupils shrank to pinpricks. He froze. The 3 of us breathed the same thick air inside the car. Ethan nipped at my earring, his voice low. "Choose. Push me away right now, or go with him." I wrapped my arms around his neck and kissed him back. The door slammed shut so hard the whole car shook. I watched Liam drive away, then scrambled to sit up, to run. But Ethan pinned me harder to the leather seat. His hot palm pressed to my waist. His calloused thumb rubbed hard over my swollen lower lip. "Be my girlfriend," he said, his voice rough. He nipped at my ear on purpose. "Or we can go get married tomorrow. Your call." He bit my earlobe, sharp and quick. I yelped. Then he kissed my forehead. Soft and sudden, that one gentle touch threw my whole heart off rhythm. "You know the fastest way to get over an ex." His breath was hot against my skin. "Get a new one." He leaned in even closer. "I think I'm a pretty good option. I'm offering. You gonna take it?" Rebound. I wanted to be that careless, but 10 years didn't just vanish overnight. I turned my face away. I saw my own reflection in the window, my lips red and swollen. He tilted my chin back. His eyes were serious. More serious than I'd ever seen them. "Or use me to get back at him, however you want, when you're tired of it. I'll be here." The last part was almost a whisper against my ear. 3-month trial. If you don't like it, full refund. No questions asked. Then his mouth was on mine. The kiss was clumsy but fierce. It made my whole body go weak. Beneath his urgency, I pushed at his chest, breathless. Not in the car. He carried me all the way to his place. My phone rang non-stop the whole way there. Liam's name burned on the screen. Not gonna answer. Ethan glanced at the caller ID, then snatched the phone and hit accept. Liam's frantic voice came through the speaker. "Scarlett, can we talk? Tomorrow." Ethan kissed me hard before he could finish. I tried to speak, to pull away, but he held the back of my head and deepened the kiss. Sorry, Liam, Ethan said, breathless. Into the phone. She's kinda busy right now, can't talk. He pinched my waist on purpose. I made a small, helpless sound. There was a crash of glass on the other end. Liam roared so loud the speaker crackled. Ethan. I swear to God if you so much as touch her. Ethan pushed me back onto the couch, cold and sharp into the phone. We broke up. Liam, I'm with her now. There's nothing wrong with that. And for the record, I've put up with your shit for long enough. You don't deserve her. He dropped the phone into a fish tank. Water splashed onto my lashes. He ripped open his shirt. I saw 8 solid abs. I'd figured he'd be some experienced player, but... Sorry, he climbed off me. His face bright red. Can we try that again? I burst out laughing. All that smooth talk. And you're a virgin. I know a lot of theory. His ears were bright red. Just not much practice. So I'm here first. I raised an eyebrow. He nodded. Serious. His eyes were so clean. So honest. You're the first. And the only one I ever wanted to try with. The next day, Ethan and I were dating. Sort of. The guy acted like a kid in his first relationship. He took me everywhere. Every single day. On weekends he dragged me to the amusement park. He grinned bigger than I did on the carousel. He'd stop dead in front of ice cream shops and insist on the pink cotton candy flavor. Then make a face and say it was too sweet. Worst of all, he had zero chill. He posted 8 photos of us a day on his socials. Even little videos of me drinking bubble tea. I called him childish. He just said, I'm marking my territory. I had to hand it to him. The kid was a fast learner. The first time had been awkward. Now he kept me in bed for hours. I told him he was getting way too good. He just grinned in my ear and said, got a great teacher. For the first 2 weeks, I'd wake up in the middle of the night and reach for my phone on instinct. I'd stare at the name that never lit up anymore. But now, my lock screen was a photo of that idiot Ethan making faces at the top of the Ferris wheel. Yesterday, in the shower, I caught myself humming the off-key song he was always singing. Life Without Liam. It was actually okay. Then, a month later, the doorbell rang. Liam, to what do we owe the pleasure? Ethan's voice drifted up from downstairs. I came down to see Liam and Olivia standing in the doorway. I turned to leave. Ethan called after me. Scarlett, come on. Liam's just visiting. I hesitated, then went upstairs to change into something more modest. When I came back down, Ethan's smile was pleased. Liam dropped a bulging bag onto the coffee table. Scarlett, I'm not just here to visit. I came to bring your stuff back. He unzipped it and started pulling things out one by one. We broke up. Doesn't make sense to keep this stuff at my place. When the lace lingerie came out, laid out in the sunlight, my face burned. Low blow. Real low blow from Liam. Olivia's face twisted. Ethan didn't even flinch. I remembered how Liam used to lay them out one by one and purr. Which one are we trying tonight? Back then I'd gotten excited picking them out. Now it just made me sick. He'd been the one to break up with me. Now he was bringing this stuff over to humiliate me, or to gross Ethan out. Make him think I was some kind of slut. I laughed. Cold. It's all garbage. Just like the person who bought it. Throw it away. No need to drop it off. A flash of anger crossed Liam's face. Then he smiled. Smug. You've got it wrong. Olivia and I are getting married. I need to cut ties with the past. She deserves to feel secure. Oh, I got it now. He wasn't just here to humiliate me. He was here to gloat. Wanted me to see he was getting married. While Ethan and I were just dating. Wanted me to know he never had a shortage of women. Too bad. All I felt was disgust. Nothing else. Liam looked Ethan up and down. Cool as you please. Your taste really went downhill. Scarlett. This scrawny thing. You think he can keep up with you? He pulled Olivia closer. Stop pining after me. I'm taken now. Who was pining after who? Ethan lasted just as long as he did. And size-wise, he'd brought Olivia here. But I bet he was already missing how wild I was. Bored of how quiet she was. I looked at Ethan. He still didn't flinch. I smiled and kissed him on the cheek, whispering in his ear. We can try that new position tonight. Ethan pinched my waist. You're on. Liam snapped. You're such a slut. Ethan's face turned cold at once. I call you bro out of respect. If you wanna stay here, you will respect my girlfriend, my future wife. Liam yanked Olivia against him, smiling at Ethan. Since you still call me bro, we're crashing here tonight. Ethan nodded. Flat. Suit yourself. The maid showed them to the guest room. Ethan pulled me close. That new position you mentioned. I traced circles on his chest. I'll teach you tonight. I had no idea what they were thinking, picking the room right across from ours. It was a big house, but the walls weren't that thick. I heard Olivia's hoarse voice ask, Liam, why did you keep all those clothes? Do you still have feelings for her? I stopped walking. I wanted to hear what Liam would say. Ethan frowned at me. I kissed him quick to calm him down. Have feelings for her? Please, I just wanted to remind Scarlett. Remind her of what? How wild she was. How cheap. She's only with Ethan to get back at me. She was with me for 10 years. I know her. She could never actually like him. I came here to make her face it. A loud, rhythmic thumping started from the other room right after he finished talking. Ethan's face got darker and darker. He was mad. So Liam's words had gotten to him after all. I jumped up, wrapping my legs around his waist. Ethan, carry me to the shower. That night was wilder than any we'd had before. The next morning, when Liam saw us come downstairs together, his eyes were red with rage. So you two were already hooking up behind my back. How long have I been wearing this cuckold's horns? His neck was covered in hickeys, and he had the nerve to yell at me. When I didn't answer, he turned on Ethan. You actually slept with her? Ethan raised an eyebrow. We're a normal couple. Is that so hard to believe? Liam snapped. He threw a punch at Ethan. Ethan hit him right back. The two of them brawled in the living room. Olivia cried, screaming, "Stop it. Please stop." I grabbed an ashtray and smashed it right over Liam's head. Olivia shrieked. Liam clutched his head, staring at me with red eyes. You hit me. For him. Well, duh. Ethan was my boyfriend. Who else was I gonna defend? I helped Ethan up, wincing at the cut on his lip. Does it hurt? Ethan grinned. Kiss it better and it won't. I kissed him. Ethan smiled like an idiot. I looked coldly at Liam. Doors that way. Get out of my house. He looked stunned. Then he blurted out, Scarlett, what if I called off the wedding? Would you come back to me? I blinked. Called off the wedding, so you could string me along some more for free. I looked at Olivia. You better hold on to him tight. Don't let him waste 10 years of your life too. Liam left eventually. Over his shoulder he spat. Fucking regret ever liking you. Join the club. I thought. I regretted it too. Ethan proposed to me. He said he'd never forgotten the girl in the white dress back in college. Never forgotten the way I'd looked that night in the private room. When he'd first seen me like that, he'd known it was me that night. He'd walked over on purpose. He'd gambled that I'd be angry, that I'd need someone to use as a weapon, and he'd handed himself right to me. The day I said yes, Liam showed up, frantic and wildeed. Scarlett, I'm sorry. I thought you couldn't live without me, but it's me. I can't live without you. Take me back, please. I smiled at him. Liam, you broke up with me. Remember, you really think after everything you did, we could ever go back? He pressed on. Then what were we? Those 10 years. How funny. He was asking me the same question I'd once asked him. We're not kids anymore. Liam, two consenting adults. I think you get it. I threw his own words right back at him, but I didn't want to be friends. I never wanted to see him again. Honestly, every time he showed up, I remembered how small I'd been. Those 10 years. After that, Olivia and Liam had a huge fight. Olivia wanted to get married. Liam didn't anymore. He'd gone cold on her. She was only 19. She didn't deserve to be treated like that. They broke up in the end. Olivia was smart for her age. Otherwise she might have wasted 10 years of her life too. Ethan and I got married when I was 29. Those 10 years were my youth. They taught me who I was. They were just a memory. But Ethan was my future. Hey there. Could you rate this story in the comments? Use a scale of 1 to 10. Please, I am begging you. It really means a lot to me. And if you like this kind of content, don't forget to hit follow.